All right, mamas, we are back with Angela, and we are going to talk about something that we all are busy, busy, busy. I'm so busy, Angela. I
So
don't even have
busy.
time to listen to this video. I'm so busy. What is that? Can
What
we break
is
that
that?
down?
I think it's important that we do
Yeah.
because it's a go-to
Oh,
and it's the ultimate limitation
ultimate.
and it's the ultimate resistance
An excuse.
and excuse. And
An
excuse,
excuse for changing our lives. We're so busy.
we're so busy.
So busy.
An excuse to not actually step into all the things that would actually cause value
Mm-hmm.
and create space
Yeah.
in all of the doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Mamas, we get it. Life is full. It's full of things to do and places to be and people to be with and kids to take care of. And at the same time, we are creating and making decisions that kind of start to put together our whole life experience. And if we're not conscious or we're just doing the same thing, we're never going to have space for anything different. And if you're listening to this, you are listening because you want to change your life.
Yeah.
You're tired
Well,
of being busy. Go ahead.
we're looking to release ourselves from the same loops of monotony, even
Mm,
in the busyness. It's like
yes.
waking up and like, here we go again. Here
Oh,
we go again, especially if you have little ones and all the tasks that are involved in
mhm.
that. Here we go again. Here
Yep.
we go again. Another loop, another loop, another loop. And
Hmm.
first, I think, like I said, it's important to really look into, like, peek into the word busy. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you just throw that word down and it's a trump card word. I'm just busy. And we're not really looking inside of what are you saying? What are
Mm,
we actually saying there? We do
yeah.
this with a lot of words. Same thing with like anxiety. And we never really look inside. What even is that? Just give me a pill. I don't know. It's anxiety, right?
Yeah.
So the busy thing, and that's the if I'm busy, where are you busy? Meaning, we all have, there's 24 hours in the day if we're going to get technical, and we're all doing something in that time, whether it's you're sitting down,
Mhm.
you're laying down, you're standing up, you're walking. We're all doing essentially something, even if it's sleeping. You're doing something sitting on the
Mhm.
couch, and we all have that amount of time in the day. Where did we pick up that we're busy? You might have tasks inside of that. And do you know that it's made up? That you made that because you have tasks, you can only do as much as you can do.
Yeah.
It's a made up thing that because you have tasks, no matter how many tasks there are,
Hmm.
that makes you busy.
Hmm.
It's simply task number one, task number two, task number three, task number four. I remember my grandma used to tell this story about a cousin of mine, and she went, and the cousin was probably, I don't know, 5. And my grandma walked up to her and she said, "Hi, how are you?" And she said, "I'm just so busy, Grandma." See, we picked this up, and what she was busy doing is
Hmm.
playing with her dolls. She was busy. She was so busy,
So
right?
cute.
And then there was this other little reel I saw not that long ago of this little girl getting in the car. Mom picked her up from preschool. And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's just so much." She's like, "What happened? What happened?" She's like, "It's so much." And the little girl says, "Oh," and mom says, "What did you do today?" And she goes, "I had to go to lunch. It's just too much for me." Meaning we pick this up at a young age
Mm.
and it's a belief structure, it's an illusion.
Yeah. Complete illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because, well, like you said, we pick it up. I mean, my parents were always busy, sometimes so busy to really spend time with me.
Yep.
We're
And
kind of,
I remember even when it was, I was talking to my mom and she had very little, I would suppose like has to do these things, right? When you have a job and there's commitments that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say you retire. Haven't you heard even retirees saying that I'm so busy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
so busy. I got to clean the windows. I got to cook dinner. And it's this tagline in life from the
Yes.
preschool age when you're playing with your dolls and you're going to lunch, all the way through work, through raising the kids, through retiring until the deathbed. You know, my grandmother now, she's the final stage, and she's always so busy, even if it's like I just have so much going on today. They're coming to bathe me. It's too overwhelming. It's too
Mm-hmm.
much. So I want us to really get inside first, and recognizing the illusion doesn't dismantle it right away. It's just
Right.
first you got an eye on something that was so automatic to you and such a go-to for a way for you to be inside of limitation.
Mm.
The program, the familiarity of that limitation, and argue for the limitation in life.
Yes. Yes. We are saying we are really moving from this limited perspective. And I know in my experience as a mother, when I lived in the overwhelm, just like when you said, I woke up and like, oh God, not this again.
Mhm.
All the things. That's my saying. All the things. Being a mom, there's all the things. And when you're living a more, healthy, holistic lifestyle, it takes something there too, to cook your own food. And a lot of the moms listening, like they are doing the best they can. And at the same time, we're all moving from this. I don't have enough time. I
Yeah.
don't have enough space. I don't have enough time to take care of myself. It's this constant story that we are operating from that is a complete lie.
Yeah. Now, here's the beauty,
Okay.
because it's not being dismissive to the tasks.
Right.
There are many in
Mm-hmm. There are.
different stages of lives, and compare and dependent on what is in your life. Some of the youngsters, they're busy playing their video games, and that's an urgency to them.
Yeah,
They're busy with that. They
totally.
can't do anything. They're limited there because there's a pull. I'm that little man inside of the screen, and I got lots to do inside of that screen,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it's all relative. So I'm not
Right.
being dismissive to that, but I'm opening up a space that what if we begin to wonder about something? Let's say you still have the task, but you take the busy component out and it's simply task number one, task number two, task number three. Now, let's say when we don't have the busy component, I'm so busy and frazzled, which causes me to wake up that way because I don't want to do the things on my list. I really don't
Mm-hmm.
want to. I just want to lay here,
Yeah.
which is another form of resistance. So, where you're actually busy right there is not in what you have to do. You're busy in your head and in your thoughts because it's a battle. I have to do these things, but I don't want to do these things. Right in there,
Mm-hmm.
right in there. I have to do the things, but I don't want to do the things. Now, we've got options the moment that we surrender
Mm.
to what is. And how do I know I'm surrendering, and how do I know I'm in resistance? Here's my piece of paper. Pretend like we're just imagining a piece of paper and it says task number one, and let's give you 10 on there. 10 tasks today. 10 of them. I either have hold up my middle finger to that piece of paper, or I accept that that's the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that I bring acceptance to that piece of paper is the moment there's a super intelligence that can get involved.
Mm.
A super intelligent can get involved in the areas in which are fixed and the areas in which I can move some things around, because these things can bend here. I can delegate this here. I can A super intelligence kicks in
Mm-hmm.
versus the moving all the way through life. And you know what? You missed it,
Yes.
because it's in the monotony a lot of times that we discover freedom.
Yes. Which I get it can be challenging for moms to really hear that there's actually magic in the monotony of motherhood. Like, what?
Well, Becky, give an example. I mean, what are the moments where you might have lost, even in the connection with the children? Like, I just got to pick them up and I got to take them here and I got to do the thing and the
Yeah.
thing and the thing.
Oh,
And then imagine I have a magic wand and I open up that you're not busy, you're just being.
yes. Oh,
And then what is the cause? Like, what happens here? What's the ripple effect, better said, when you're being and not doing, and you're now just this space as your child enters the car?
yeah.
What is
Um, well, you just exactly like said it. It was for me so long picking up my kids from school. What I kind of loathed it because they would always be in a crappy mood. That was my idea, that they would be in a crappy mood. They were hungry. And it was just like this, it was an awful experience for me picking up my kids every day. And through this deepening understanding and access to being present and not being in the spinning of my mind, I love picking up my kids now. I love it. Even if they're in bad moods, I'm like, I love you. That's your thing. I'm going to hold space for it. I get in bad moods too. I get it. But I'm not fueling that fire, and I'm not automatically thinking they're going to be a certain way. It's just a completely different way of being. And then of course I'd be in the car in the beginning. I'd be like, oh, I've got to make dinner. I got to feed the dogs. I got to do all the things, all the things, all the things. And now I'm just like, you guys want to pop over here and do this? And it's like, the things always get done.
they always get done?
They always get done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can only do what you can do.
That's exactly.
A lot of times the stress and the chaos of the mind is simply like a sloppy thinking.
Yes.
Sloppy thinking meaning you're devoid of focus. And so what contributes to my focus is some form of organization, right? Just even sometimes the mind likes to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the satisfaction of check, check,
Mm-hmm.
check. There is something to be said about the whistle while you work without being
Yeah.
cheesy about it, because it's possible. Because it's either this, if you notice what you just said, the circumstances of life didn't really change.
No.
The internal compass, the point in which
Mm.
I live life is what shifted.
Yes. Mm. Yes.
And isn't that the
That's it.
most valuable point to your existence?
Yes.
But
It's
yet we'll spend our
everything.
entire existence abandoning that most
Yep.
valuable point.
And trying to fix and control and do all the things out here that it doesn't move the needle at all.
So wouldn't you say then to feed that point? Because obviously I'm not naive to say that a conversation is not just going to cause you to not feel the busy thing.
Right.
It might bring an eye. You might have a little bit of a new awareness when
Mm-hmm.
you're busy again. You'd be like, huh, I wonder if, huh. And then I want to now feed that awareness. I want to feed the growth of what we're talking about, that point in you, because you had a commitment
Yeah.
to that point in you that began to adjust everything
Mm-hmm.
and your entire experience, not just when your kids grow up, not just when you have enough money to do this thing, or not just when this thing outside of you adjusts itself. No, you become the pivotal point.
Mm.
And isn't that the ultimate commitment?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be my number one thing, if I know that every relationship is going to be a ripple effect to how I tend to that one thing,
Mm.
every single experience,
Yes.
my life.
Yeah.
The point of me on the planet was not to be here and be busy and let it pass me by and wait until I'm on my deathbed and then I give the best advice ever. Don't do that. Hey guys, don't do that. Don't do what I did. Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
All these things you think are important, they're not.
Mm-mm.
You have the opportunity right now to actually feed that truth.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no time to lose here.
Mm-mm.
No, there's no time to lose.
I feel like I've gained time. I feel like my whole existence and perception of time has changed so much.
Because now there's space
There's so much.
around the
Yes.
busy, there's space around the doing.
So much space, so much more space. Because when you've created that space, you can actually in presence and move forward and do the tasks. And it's not like this, you're thinking about all the things you need to do ahead of time. You're in the flow. You're doing the things rather than, because you're going to either do them in resistance or you're going to do them in acceptance. Right. And when
Yeah.
you move from that place of acceptance, there's so much more spaciousness around it.
Yes.
So,
And the most beautiful thing about what you're saying is now, because I will go into resistance, right?
yeah,
You are, even being on the path of understanding this has me still go into resistance. But here's the most beautiful part about it. My resistance is now the signal that
yes,
takes me into acceptance. Whereas before it was it was the trap, it was the cage. It was
yes,
where I didn't know how to be released from. I'm
right.
just in this thing, and this is what life is, and I'll just make the best of how shitty this still is. But now
Right.
resistance, because I'm aware, causes
Yeah.
me to go into acceptance.
Yes. Which is so beautiful because it's when you create that awareness around the resistance, then you have a conscious choice to make.
Yeah.
If we're just constantly in the busy and the resistance, we don't even know that there's a choice. We're just so conditioned to continually create the same way of being, which we don't want to live that way, mama. It's like, the reason I've been so compelled to share this work and to do my own work is because I don't want my kids to live this way. I don't want my kids to be busy and miss out on their life and just not be able to sink into the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for our babies.
And so conversation first allows us to recognize that there is something possible.
Yeah,
Because the moment we sense that it's possible, a door opens.
yeah,
Now, walking through the door, no conversation will ever cause that. You've got to cause it. And the first thing that causes it is beginning to recognize that the moment I have a conviction that I'm going to give to me, because the point of your existence is actually not to help others, it's to fill you up so much that what happens from there is you pour over
yeah,
onto others. You're filled
yes.
up so much, you pour out into your children, into your
Mhm.
husband, into
Mm,
people around you, and you just kind of feel like a warm blanket. A stranger probably wants to just stand by you because
yeah,
you're so filled.
yeah,
And it's rare on the planet, but wouldn't you say then that that would be the number one thing? And the moment I have a conviction, a vow, if you will, that that's what I'm going to give to first, that space in me, so that I can be a supportive mother and be at ease with my children, because they're going to pick up on the dis-ease subliminally, and it transfers generation to generation. And until one brave soul
yeah,
decides to come in and take that vow and that commitment, and watch how the universe, if you will adjust to that vow. Once you thought, oh, I don't have time, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time to give to me, are you kidding me? I can't give this to me. Watch the moment you take that vow, that commitment, how things will adjust, and you will create that is possible to give that to you.
mm,
And walk in the journey of feeding that space that we're pointing to right now.
yes, yes. So, would you say for us to kind of move forward, because you're right, it's conversation is great. We're kind of opening up some space and some ideas and how to just kind of look at our busyness. So, like, for example, let's say that we have an opportunity to do something that we know is going to change our life.
Yeah.
It's going to change our life. We know it takes a commitment, it's a weekly thing. It takes a commitment and it takes resources, money to do.
Yeah.
But we know inside that this is going to change our life.
Yes.
Yet we're too busy. to take that step. And that I feel like I really want to move into, because we do that all the time, with whatever it is. We want this change. We want to evolve. We want to, come to the world, show up differently, yet we're not willing to do anything different. And so those people listening are like, no, I'm not too busy. I do want to change my life. I do want to make that commitment.
Yeah.
Like, how do we go from there? How do we start to create that little space in our life so that we can make space for the universe to rearrange things, so that our heart's desire and the direction we want to go is supported?
First, we have to recognize the call.
Yeah.
And the call is when I resonate with something, like something in me is resonating. Know that right here, typically, if we've got washed up in the busyness, in almost no time at all, the mind's going to kick in with a logical explanation of why you can't.
Yes.
And we have to begin to distinguish the two, because the magical space, the stuff that's fulfilling in life, is always going to be a different space than what the logical mind will kick in and go, you don't have time, you're too busy, because it's used to that trap. It's used to that loop. Correct. It's a bit of an addiction, if you will.
Yeah.
It's familiar. And there's something that resonates. Now, mind you, this won't resonate with everyone, but some you'll feel it. It's a feeling inside, like ding, 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 ding. That's what you follow, because every time, track your own life, you follow that. What has it opened up in your life? Don't take my word for it. Look.
Yeah.
I can speak for that for myself. And I can tell you the rides that it has taken me on are some of the most non-logical spaces ever, but they turn out to be now logical.
Yeah.
Because I proved to myself that this was a limitation that I could move past. And I felt something inside of me. I resonated with something inside of me that would cause me sometimes to fly across the world and do these things and go to this, whatever, put myself in these unknown territories. And then what I would get from that I would begin to then integrate into my own life, was absolutely priceless, and ended up causing abundance in all the ways, like the material part, the part of me that I had to put that value on myself. Money on me, invest in me, came back in tenfold. But I had to, there's a trust component, like a little bit of faith. Haven't you heard the thing, mustard seed? Because that's the only way you're going to follow that place where I resonate with something and it doesn't necessarily make the most logical sense, because your logical mind is going to send you into, you don't have time, you're busy, you got these 10 tasks, and you're not worth it right now. The kids are the only thing that matter. My husband, kids, the things, this to-do list, that's the only thing that matters. That's logical.
Right. And it keeps us from the magic. It keeps us like stuck spinning. We're done spinning.
And it just takes a moment for you to, once the line is in the sand, I mean, look at your life. Whenever you've drawn the line in the sand, like that's it, the stake in the ground, like I'm doing this, that's it. All the suffering and all the busyness and all the things that cause us to feel like we're in a cage and we're trapped, that's going to be the greatest contribution, because that's what's causing me to draw that line in the sand.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. Okay, I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to open myself up to this new thing and being taken care of in this space. Worst case scenario, I just go back to my old pattern, my own way. Don't worry, it'll be waiting there for you. What is the other scenario? What if it opens up a space in me that really does cause a fulfillment inside of these areas where I didn't even think it was possible to be fulfilled? What if?
What if?
Because I can tell you, data, if this is for the logical minds out there.
Yeah.
It's now proven that when you begin to take this time, and there's the class that we're talking about too, that's 3 months long, And it's for integration purposes and rewiring neurocircuitry. And there's certain methods and there's certain things that are taught in the fire. That means in the point of the busyness, in the point of your triggers, in the fire. And you then stay long enough to where it actually integrates and creates a new way of being in the world. There is absolute proof that this does move you into a space you didn't think was possible.
Oh, no question. No question. And what I love so much about it is it's what I've talked about. You say a lot too, is like this, you know, you can read all the books, you can go to all the classes, you can do all the things, yet how many times do we find ourselves in the fire, in the trigger, or, you know, our husband's doing this and all we want to do is just scream, and maybe we do, and we yell at the kids. And there's then where is it? Where's the access?
Yeah.
There's no access in those moments. Yet what you're talking about and how you move us through a new way of creating new neurologic pathways and literal tools in the fire that you get to connect with, that can literally transform your entire experience, your entire family. I mean, my family from where we were a year and a half, 2-3 years ago is 180 degrees from where we are now. We were living in fear. There was tension, there was fighting, there was, it makes me even, I feel nauseous even thinking about how we were operating. And now it's like, it's a whole new world. There's so much calmness and peace. And it's so effing beautiful. And I want this for moms, because I get it. Like being in this, in the day-to-day, the busy, the mundane, the monotony, the overwhelm, there's access to freedom in that.
Yes, there is access to freedom. It's just what was once impossible becomes possible.
Yes. Yes. And all we have to do is, like Ange said, is it resonating with you? Are you feeling this? Is something in you going ding, ding, ding? And then the mind's going to come, be like, you're not worth it. It's too much time, too much da. You got to question the mind. What do you say? Question the mind.
Trust in the body.
Trust in the body.
Trust in the ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Question the mind. Sometimes it's accurate. Question it always.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Ange, this was so good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're the best. All right, everyone. We'll see you on the next video.